This one is for the high achiever in you, the woman who's done the work, hit the milestones, and built a life that looks so incredible from the outside, but quietly still wonders, why do I feel empty? If you've been silently asking yourself that question, then I want you to know that you are not broken. You're not ungrateful. You are simply waking up to a deeper truth. And that's precisely what I'm going to discuss with you in today's episode. So I just want you to understand that you have been living what I like to call a checklist life, okay? Versus a life that is just so fulfilling to the depths of your soul. And I believe that we all have a purpose. And I believe very strongly that if we're not feeling our best selves, if we're not living every day in absolute passion and thriving, then we are working out with our soul's divine mission. Okay, so we probably, a lot like myself, you're probably a woman who's established, who has such, you might say, you've become so accomplished in many things. You probably have an amazing job or a family, and you're just holding it all together, and you literally are putting everybody in front of you. Okay, and so you have this checklist life where you have all these to-dos and you have all the stress and you have all the things, and it's just go, 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 and there is never time for you, despite what other people might think who look at your life, okay? But from a young age, many of us, especially those of us raised to be good girls, we were handed a checklist. And that checklist said, be nice, achieve, excel, keep the peace, don't ask for too much, make everyone proud. And what happened? We did it. You did it. But here is the catch. The life you built, it was probably rooted in what was expected of you. Not the mission on your heart, not what your soul truly desires. Because fulfillment doesn't come from ticking boxes. It comes from living in alignment. And that is why so many of us feel completely lost. Now, high-functioning women like you and I, that were taught, that were trained, bam, 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 get through the list, keep moving, don't stop, excel, be the best, make me proud, all of that. You often had to suppress your emotions to stay in control. So you became an absolute master of pushing through. But when you override your truth long enough, what happens is that you become a stranger to yourself and your own needs. You do things like pushing through even when your body's like, no. Even when your heart is feeling so heavy. And you're like, no, I need rest now. I need time for me. I need to stop. Here's the truth. Success without connection to yourself, your higher self, your soul, it just leads to quiet burnout. And overachieving genuinely is often just a trauma response in heels. You need to understand that true joy requires space, not structure. This is something that I'm working on at the moment so much. Obviously, I have an incredible amount to get through in my life. I have children, I have a baby, I have a husband, I have a house to run, I have everything to do. And so many of those things are not for me. But I make it a priority, as you know, as I've mentioned this before, to wake up early, to come downstairs and to have some me time. And I always recorded my podcast episodes in the morning. And I've been trying to look at a way that I can do this to give myself more time back. because I wasn't doing enough for me. I was still on that checklist. I was still like, bam, 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 bam. Let's get the episode ready. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's make sure it's all scheduled. And again, I love to give back, but I'm making sure that I'm doing so in a way that's more aligned. So I've been trying new ways of recording things and new ways of like bulk scheduling like I used to do in my previous business. I am now sitting right now. I'm trying to give myself a bit more comfort when I'm doing so. I'm sitting here, I've got my podcasting mic. The way I used to do it was I would sit my MacBook on my lap and I would record the episode. But this morning, I'm actually sitting here. Somebody said that the audio quality was so bad, so I'm like, okay, bring over the podcasting mic. I'm sitting on the sofa, I've got my blanket, I've got my cup of hot water, I've got my MacBook in front of me. I'm hoping the audio quality is good, by the way. You can let me know in the comments. But I'm sitting here, I'm trying to give myself a little bit more calm, a little bit more quiet, a little bit more chill. And I'm hoping that this will give me a little bit more energy as I'm recording. And I want that energy to transfer over to you, because my episodes used to be exactly like this. It used to be a lot more chill, a lot more chat, a lot more free. And I got back into my old habits of being more structured, being more organized, all of that. And that just doesn't serve me. So what I want to do now is I want you to just think about what fulfillment actually looks like, and I want you to think about how you can actually start feeling it. So fulfillment is not something you chase. It's something you allow, and you can allow it in this moment by the choices you make. It's like me, like I just mentioned with the episode. I have like a beautiful table where it's all set up in the corner of my family room where I could come down. The mic was set up, the laptop was always, everything. There was a big computer there was everything I needed. And I was like, no, but that just feels too rigid, too structured. I need time for me. I need calm before my children come down. So here I am on the sofa with my hot water, giving myself what I need while I'm recording the episode. So essentially, it's about allowing everything that you have to do, all of your responsibilities, all of your obligations. It's about slowing down and asking yourself, how can I enjoy this more? How can my soul love this more? How can I feel the best that I possibly can in this moment? And I'm not talking about looking at all the things that you think, oh, this could be so much better, and fixing it, but I'm just thinking the things that you're doing, let's not look at the negatives. Let's actually start to reframe things from, okay, I have to do this, so let me just get it done and move on. But that's no good, because guess what? Something always crops up and you never get your free time, you never get your chill time. You never actually get that calm that you were looking for, because you're always racing ahead. And I get what you're saying, but then I'm going to have to do it later. Yeah, I totally get that. But how can you still do the thing in a slightly more chilled manner, in a slightly more calm way that your soul's going to love? Can you bring any enjoyment into what you're doing? Try that. And then ask yourself questions like, what version of success actually excites me? Because it doesn't excite me to sit there hammering out podcast episodes and scheduling them. And it probably doesn't excite the listeners much either, because they're having to listen to that. And they're like, yeah, okay, this is good content. She's come up with some valuable content, but does it actually contain a strong spirit aligned message? Well, this does. You think about how that translates into your life. What version of success actually excites you? What parts of you have you actually suppressed to be enough for others? What parts of you have you suppressed? Have you actually stopped saying yes to yourself? Have you stopped putting your needs first? Have you started or have you always just basically had no boundaries to other people? Do you, like, for example, do you go to an effort to organise events for people that are not that convenient for you, perhaps? And then you spend maybe all afternoon cooking, and then people show up late, and then everything's crazy, and then the children are upset. Because adults are good at coping with timings. They're not always, and they kind of have to be because they have no other choice. It's like those kind of things. It's like, and in that moment, all you want to say is, do you realize, like, I'm going to an effort. This is not for me. So what about you? Are you allowing people to disrespect you? Are you allowing people and you're just like, oh, it's okay, it's fine? It's not fine. That's disrespectful. Are you suppressing the most beautiful, the most gorgeous, the most absolutely fabulous version of yourself because you don't want to be seen? You don't want to seem like you're trying too hard or you're too much. That's a biggie. Because the truth is that when you are your best self, you understand what that comes with. You understand that when you glow, when you look incredible, when you turn heads, when your energy is so strong and powerful, not everyone feels comfortable being around that type of energy. Everyone, by the way, has that energy. Everyone has the energy, but not everyone is able in this moment to realize it and live it and be it. And so that can bring out the worst in some people. So are you suppressing it? All your power, all your goddess energy, all of your incredible energy, because you want to be seen, to be nice, to be good, not to be threatening. What are you suppressing right now? Okay, and ask yourself that, because when you suppress who you were born to be, that's your higher self. Basically, you're betraying them. You're basically saying to your higher self, hey, listen, tone it down, we need to fit in. You weren't born to fit in. You were born to stand out, to shine, to be a star, to inspire. Do you understand that you might be threatening, you might trigger some people, but do you understand that that might be the very thing that they need to up-level and shine themselves? And if they don't, I guarantee you that someone else looking out at you, looking up at you, they are going to take inspiration from that, and you will change their lives by giving them a point, like a compass point, like a North Star that they can follow, that they can say, you know what, she did it, so I'm going to do it too. You know what, look at her, I can do it too. So it's not actually just about you, it's about others. And I also want you to ask yourself, where have you been betraying yourself in the name of being impressive? So have you been toning down, dulling down how you show up in the world just to make sure that others feel safe around you? Or have you been chasing after all sorts of nonsense because you think that others are going to approve of you? That's what it's all about. It's just about approval. What you're going to do is you're going to start small. You're going to make space to feel. You're going to unsubscribe from everything in life that doesn't serve you. And you're going to begin walking towards the life that feels like you. You don't have to burn it all down, everything you've worked for. You just have to stop abandoning yourself. So if this episode spoke to you, and if you're ready to go deeper, then I want you to know that the spark activation is your next step. The spark activation is a personalised deep dive that will help you to uncover exactly what is draining your energy and how you can ignite your next level clarity, your confidence and fulfillment in your life. I'm going to pop the link below for you, and I want to finish off today reminding you that you're not too much, you're not behind, you're awakening. So let's rise, and I hope to see you in the spark activation. Make sure you're subscribed, you liked the episode. I'll see you in the next one, or in Spark. And I want you to remember your power, beautiful. You were here to be incredible. You have achieved so much, and it's time that you were fulfilled. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one.